In a small village nestled amidst rolling hills, there lived a man named Hiroshi. Hiroshi was known throughout the village for his fiery temper and uncontrollable anger. People would often steer clear of him, fearing the consequences of his rage. Hiroshi's anger seemed to have a life of its own, wreaking havoc wherever he went. One hot summer day, as the sun beat down on the village, Hiroshi found himself in the marketplace. As he weaved through the bustling crowd, his irritation grew. The noise, the jostling, and the general chaos of the market irritated him beyond measure. Unable to contain his anger any longer, Hiroshi exploded. He shouted at a merchant, who accidentally bumped into him, causing a crate of fruits to topple and scatter across the ground. The merchant, frightened and flustered, quickly apologized and tried to rectify the situation. But Hiroshi's anger had already taken hold of him, clouding his judgment and blinding him to the consequences of his actions. Fueled by his rage, Hiroshi stormed away from the marketplace, leaving chaos in his wake. His anger had not only affected the merchant, but had also disrupted the peaceful atmosphere of the village. The incident soon became the talk of the town, and people grew even more cautious around Hiroshi, viewing him as a ticking time bomb. As the days passed, Hiroshi's anger continued to control him. It seemed as though he had lost all sense of reason and could not see the harm he was causing to himself and those around him. Friends turned away, and even his family found it difficult to be in his presence. Hiroshi became a lonely figure, isolated from the community he once belonged to. One evening, Hiroshi encountered an old traveler on the outskirts of the village. The traveler had a serene presence, radiating tranquility and wisdom. Intrigued by the traveler's calm demeanor, Hiroshi approached him cautiously, hoping to find some solace from the storm of his emotions. The traveler, sensing Hiroshi's desperation, offered him a piece of advice. "Control your anger before it controls you," he said gently, his voice carrying a weight of experience. "When anger becomes your master, it blinds you to the beauty of life and the connections that sustain us." Hiroshi listened intently, realizing the truth in the traveler's words. Deep down, he longed to be free from the chains of his anger and regain his place in the village. He thanked the traveler for his wisdom and set off on a journey of self-discovery. Over time, Hiroshi immersed himself in the teachings of Zen masters and sought to understand the root of his anger. He learned to observe his emotions without judgment, cultivating a sense of inner peace and detachment. Through meditation and introspection, Hiroshi slowly regained control over his anger. Returning to the village a changed man, Hiroshi faced the consequences of his past actions with humility and sincerity. He sought forgiveness from those he had hurt and pledged to make amends for his past behavior. With time, the villagers began to see the transformation in Hiroshi and slowly welcomed him back into their lives. No longer controlled by his anger, Hiroshi became a source of inspiration for others in the village. He shared his journey and the lessons he had learned, encouraging people to find peace within themselves. The village became a more harmonious place, and Hiroshi, once an outcast, became a trusted advisor and friend. From that day forward, Hiroshi lived by the profound wisdom he had gained on his journey. Control your anger before it controls you. And in doing so, he discovered a life filled with compassion, understanding, and the boundless joy that comes from taming one's inner demons. The story teaches us the importance of controlling our anger before it controls us. It illustrates how uncontrolled anger can lead to isolation, harm relationships, and create chaos in our lives. Through self-reflection, seeking wisdom, and practicing mindfulness, we can break free from the destructive grip of anger and find inner peace. It reminds us that by taming our anger, we can restore harmony, rebuild connections, and live a more fulfilling life.